So I got another package in the mail today. We're going to be doing an unboxing video right after this. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on Addicted to Gear. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going a little stir crazy. I've been sort of contemplating another project to help me pass the time now that we're all stuck inside. So I figured I would order a kit, a guitar kit, that I would use to build and basically pass the time. So I contacted my friends over at DIYguitarkits.net and ordered this guy that just arrived today. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm a little excited. Well, actually, I'm a lot excited, but I'm a little stressed also because I haven't actually built a guitar from a kit before. I've built guitars from parts, but from a kit, it's kind of a step down because there's a lot of things that you need to do, including putting everything together. So let's start off by looking at this kit and seeing what we can actually buy as a kit and how much work is involved with putting something like this together. Now, I have a lot of Strats that I've built, Telecasters that I've built, but I've never actually built a guitar that has a set-in neck like a Gibson Les Paul or a 335. So I figured it would be a good way of actually learning how to do setups like that. It's actually more than a setup. It's actually, I guess, closer to a complete build as opposed to building a Strat. Because when you build a Strat, it's kind of like you're putting the parts together. You're doing the same with this, but there's a lot of sanding involved, there's a lot of fitting involved, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually go off the rails on a project like this. So starting off with a good solid kit is really the most important thing, because if the kit is not, put together properly in terms of tolerances, and if there's a lot of things that need to be done, well, you might be in over your head. So let's open up this kit and let's see what we have inside. I was so happy to see this kit arrive today because I ordered it a while ago, and because of the slowdown that everyone is experiencing, I thought it was never going to get here. So this is quite a big box, so I'm gonna take it out one part at a time just to show you how it's divided in this box. Everything beneath the shroud of mystery, as I like to call it. This obviously is the body, this is the neck. We have some parts here as well, so we'll go through this whole thing together. Gonna start off looking at the body because that's obviously one of the key elements of this kit. The cool thing about this kit is it also comes with instructions. So if you're kind of doing this for the first time, at least you know what to do, what to start off with. Has a nice, I would say this is probably about 10 or 15 pages. Even has some pretty nice wiring diagrams. So if you're not sure how to wire it up, that's really helpful. So always good to have some guidance in a project like this. Now, although I've built guitars from parts before, as I mentioned, building a guitar from scratch is a little bit more involved, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let's first take a look at the body, because I'm super excited to see. Now this, as you can tell, is a beautiful 335 style body. Maple, front and back. Nicely cut F-holes here. And even a little bit of flame in the maple. That's pretty nice. So the reason I chose this particular body kit is because I haven't ever built a neck-through body design guitar kit before where you actually have to glue everything in. And there's a lot more involved in terms of the fitting and the sanding and everything else. I'll throw up some videos, some detailed videos of the body so you can get a better view of the cavities and the way the binding is set up and everything like that, so that you can get a better idea of the look and feel of it. But right off the bat, I'm telling you, I'm pretty impressed with the accuracy in the holes. The F holes actually are very nicely cut. They even have binding on the inside of them. I was a little worried about that. Sometimes you see some sloppy things on the internet, and you know, although there's a little bit of sanding that needs to be done here, I was expecting that. But I don't see any major issues. Really nice kind of a 3-ply binding all the way around. There's also binding on the side here, but it's not 3-ply, it's just cream color. There's a nice center block here. The center block goes all the way down the front through where the pickup holes are and through where the bridge, tailpiece and saddle will be installed. So it actually anchors into a solid piece of wood. And it looks to be like, to me, and I'm not an expert at woods, but to me it looks like it's mahogany. And pretty nice. I mean, I was a little bit skeptical about the quality of the wood, and that's the most important thing, because when you're doing a finish on these guitars, unless you're doing a solid finish where you're hiding all the grain, having something that is, you know, nicely finished with no knots, no ugly veins or anything in there is quite important. And this one looks to be quite nice. So I'm super happy with that so far. The body itself is not very heavy. I would say, you know, once everything is put together, it shouldn't be heavier than a standard 335. Now I'm going to show you why I also chose this kit in a minute, but I just wanted to talk about the neck a little bit here, the neck joint, because this is where most of the attention takes place when you actually put everything together. Because if the neck doesn't fit the neck pocket properly, then you got a lot of work to do. So let me pull out the neck. One of the other reasons why I chose this kit specifically is because the headstock on the neck is actually shaped like a Gibson headstock. It has the open book design. And a lot of kit guitars don't have that. And what they do is they give you kind of a blocky headstock that's just square, and then they leave it up to you to finish the shaping of it. But unless you have some pretty good equipment, shaping something like this accurately is not easy to do. Hard to do with just, you know, regular tools. So I was looking for something where I don't have to actually do that, and I really like the Gibson headstock. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So this is the first time I'm looking at the neck, and so far so good. The frets look like they're jumbo actually. Looks like they're more on the bigger side of things. As far as straightness goes, it looks pretty good. I don't know if, I mean, I'm probably going to still have to do a leveling, maybe a fret dressing, whatever. The frets themselves, I can still feel the sharp edges on the side, but they don't stick out that much. I mean, I'm always going to round them off a little bit with some sandpaper like I normally do. This one has just regular dot inlays. It doesn't have trapezoids or square inlays. But I'm okay with that. And it doesn't have binding on the side. It's just what looks to be like some species of rosewood. And the rosewood slab is quite thick. Now I'll have to check the truss rod to see if it works, obviously, before anything. Because if the truss rod doesn't work, then no matter how nice the neck looks, that's out the window. It does have a scarf joint here, which is actually good to see because it actually makes the neck joint a little stronger. The nut on this neck is plastic, and I can see that the way it's stuck on, is going to need a little bit of attention. It's actually a little bit off. I'll throw up a picture for you so you can see that. Slightly angled, but I think I could fix that relatively easily just by taking off the nut and filing down the nut slot so that it's straighter. And I'm probably going to replace the nut that's plastic with a bone nut if everything according to the build goes according to plan. Another thing I want to mention about this neck is that it feels really nice. It's a really nice carve right off the bat, and it feels really nice in my hands. I was worried that it might be a little bit too bulky. This one is not. I really can tell you that it feels nice. Now the entire kit has been sanded, but it's rough sanded. So there's a lot of areas where it's actually a lot rougher than it should be. But that's fine because I'm probably going to have to go over this kit anyway with something like 250 grit or maybe 400 grit, 600 grit, and work my way up as I finish it. So there's a lot of sanding to be done, and I'm not worried about that, but I definitely feel that the guitar is a really nice shape right off the bat. So I'm happy, really happy about that, because I can't really change that, can I? So I don't want to invest a lot of money into this build before I see how the finish of the guitar body comes along. Okay, that's the biggest challenge. So I want to offer you guys a little bit of advice if you're considering going with a DIY kit like this. You definitely want to have a couple of guitar builds under your belt before you jump into something where you have to do a complete build, including the finishing of the guitar and painting and everything else. There's a lot of effort involved, there's a lot of sanding involved, and there's definitely a lot of ways where you can mess it up if you don't know what you're doing. So before you go into guitar finishing, definitely check out a few other YouTube videos where you can be taken step by step and see how it's done, including the one I did on my Telecaster if you go back into my archive. But that being said, these kits are a lot of fun. When I was a kid, I used to love building models because, you know, you're basically building them from scratch, painting them, putting them together, A to Z. And this is the same kind of feeling I get when I look at this guitar kit. So I can't wait to start. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, there's going to be some work. There's going to be some finish detail here in the pocket. I can already see that, you know, the neck needs to be fit a little bit more with some sanding. It's hard to see in detail. There's going to be some sanding involved just to get things smoothed out properly. And obviously, before I actually finish this body, we have to make sure that any of the glue that was used for the binding is sanded cleanly off the body so it doesn't show up when you actually spray the body with paint. For this particular build, I wanted your advice because I haven't really decided on the color for it yet. The hardware is gold, and I didn't really have a choice. This kit only came with gold hardware, and I would have preferred to have regular chrome hardware because you have more choice in color matching with regular chrome. And also, gold hardware, in my experience, tarnishes quite quickly, and it actually comes off with the alkalinity of your sweat in your hands. Considering everything is gold hardware, including the tuners and the bridge and the covers for the pickups and all that kind of stuff, there's a good chance that I will not install the kit pickups with this if it turns out nice, because I would probably want to put in something a little bit better. So if I do that, I probably won't go with gold covers. And in that case, I might opt to change the tuners and put something a little bit better in terms of tuners, which are not gold. And maybe at that point, I might as well also install a bridge and the saddle for the bridge in something other than gold. We'll see. If it turns out that the dye treatment doesn't turn out the way I want it, I always have the option of painting it a solid color. But that's sort of the last case scenario. I was also playing with the idea of going with maybe a satin black color or something like that, but I would really hate to hide the grain because it is really a nice looking grain. So this bag basically has all of the hardware. As you can see, these are the tuners. We have a couple of humbucker style pickups in here with the pickup rings that are cream. The pickups kind of feel a little bit light, so I don't know. But there's no, from what I can tell, there's no branding on the pickups or anything. So I really don't know what style pickups these are. I don't know what kind of magnets are in here. I don't know if it's ceramic or if it's some type of Alnico. I'm not really sure. And if any of you have already built a 335 guitar, you know what a pain it is to do the wiring and to put everything inside the body. So the last thing I would want to do is have to put in pickups that I'm not crazy about and then have to do it all over again. So again, we'll see once we get to the point of no return after we actually start dyeing the guitar body. So in this kit, you can see here, there's another bag that basically has all of the screws that you need. We have the pots here, mini pots. We have the input, output jack. We have all of the gold screws required. We have also the strap buttons. We have the truss rod cover. We have the little cap for the electronics. We even have some soldering wire. So in case you don't have anything to solder with, they actually included that as well. We have all the posts for the bridge. That's pretty cool. So it really is a turnkey kit. There's really, as far as I can see, there's nothing you're missing. Some wire. So once you get to the electronic wiring, that's pretty cool. They even give you an extra jack and an Allen key. So for adjustments to the headstock, you have the proper Allen key. The switch, this is a typical import type switch, not a switchcraft by any means, but I wasn't really expecting that. And the knobs, the gold knobs that go with the body, and even some strings. Pretty cool. So basically everything you need. Let me take a look at the bridge. The bridge here doesn't look too bad. Looks like the bridge saddles have nice notches in them. It's not so bad. You know what? I was actually expecting a level below what I can see in this kit. So definitely looks to me like everything that we need is there. And it really is up to me to pull this off. So the idea behind this video, this is the basic unboxing. I wanted to show you what comes in the kit, but I'm going to be doing a series of videos where I'm going to be going through the actual process of staining the guitar, finishing the guitar. I don't have any special equipment. I don't have any spray booth or anything like that. So everything that is going to be required for this build is going to be sort of budget, and it's going to be, you know, spray cans for sanding, sealer, and top coat. As I mentioned, leather dyes for the tinting of the guitar, and you know, everything that I need is going to be done right here in my garage with the equipment and the tools that I have. So, and I'll try and make you privy to all the information as I build it. So any of the challenges or roadblocks that I see, any of, you know, especially in the neck pocket here, the sanding, the staining, the fitting, anything that occurs that I haven't expected or is a surprise, I'll report back to you guys so that you can definitely decide whether or not you have the skills and patience for a build like this. I estimate that a build like this will probably take me, you know, not going crazy and working on it every day, but, you know, definitely is going to take me a couple of weeks for sure. And that's if everything goes according to plan and I use everything that I have in this kit. If I decide to order parts and swap out tuners, obviously there'll be more of a delay because things have to come in the mail, and the mail is rather slow right now. The big question at the end of this video is basically, what do you guys think? If I stick with the gold hardware, what color should I go with? My opinion is gold goes really nicely with red because they're both warm colors. Gold obviously goes really nicely with black, but but I would hate to paint the body black unless I do some kind of a black tint or a black burst where I can try and get some of the nice flame coming through. Otherwise, if worse comes to worse and everything goes south really fast on this build, I might just end up taking some regular, flat black paint or matte paint and painting it completely matte black, sort of a stealth look, and just keeping the hardware gold. What do you think about that? So I hope this unboxing video and quick review gives you a better idea of what to expect from one of these do-it-yourself guitar kits. If you're courageous enough to pull one off and do it from scratch, then this is a great place to start. If you want to purchase this specific kit, you can find it at DIYguitarkits.net. I'll put the link down below so that you can actually go and check out this specific kit or other builds that they offer as well. And I'll keep you posted on the step-by-step process and how great the build is coming along or how challenging the build is. Hopefully it's not going to be too challenging. I hope not, because I do have a little bit of experience doing this sort of thing, and hopefully all of my past experience will help me pull through this build nice and easy. So I'll have another great 335 semi-hollow body guitar to enjoy and add to my collection. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Addicted to Gear. If you want to get some of these cool t-shirts, you can buy them just by clicking on the links below this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please take a moment and subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more great stuff coming your way. As long as you are subscribed and hit the little bell icon, you'll be notified whenever we post new great stuff. You can also join us for our live streams that happen regularly, at least once a week, and we have a face-to-face discussion, and we can answer more questions in more detail, and you can ask them all at the same time, live, right there, right then, and I'll answer them all for you. In the meantime, guys, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned, keep rocking. More great guitars and kits and gear coming your way right here on Addicted to Gear.